So we camped at Hannah Park last night here in Jacksonville, Florida. It was a beautiful place. We had a really nice campsite. We did get a little rain last night, but it wasn't too bad. And the weather was cool. In fact, at one point I had to turn the fan off. So the plan today is to start out by going to Jacksonville Beach. So we were able to find a nice parking spot about a block and a half from the ocean. So we walked up to the beach. And as we were walking, the sky was just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful morning. And then once we got to the top of the ramp, we were able to look around and see the ocean and look at the beach. It was really early. There weren't a lot of people there yet. We did see a few people walking, a few people running on the beach, but for the most part, it was pretty quiet early in the morning. So I know one thing I had to do once I got to the Atlantic Ocean was to get my feet in. So that is what I'm going to do. So when we were done at the beach, our next planned stop was going to be the Castillo de San Marcos, and so that's where we headed next. So after finally finding a place to park, which actually was not so easy, they have a parking structure which, of course, I don't fit in. So I ended up parking with the buses. But once we got parked, we walked about a block and a half to the visitor center. It was a very, very busy day there at Castillo de San Marcos, and I'm probably going to butcher that throughout this video. There were school tours going constantly through. But the welcome center, the visitor center, was very cool. There was a lot of really neat stuff. And then after the visitor center, we decided it was time to start walking over to I'm going to just call it the Masonry Fort, the oldest Masonry Fort, because I can pronounce that. But to do that, you walk through part of the old settlement area that they've put in, so we're going to go there next. So after we crossed over the road to the old St. Augustine settlement, we walked down, I think it was St. George Street. There are a number of restaurants and bars and a lot of touristy stuff. They do have the oldest wooden schoolhouse, 1715, I believe. Around 1711, the British burned the whole city, so it would be after that. So this is the oldest schoolhouse. It's a museum. You can go in. There's things like Ripley's here, and it is very touristy. So we're going to walk over to the fort next. So the Castillo de San Marcos is a national park, so it's part of the national park system. There is an entrance fee of $15 for 16 and above, Children under 15 and under are free. It is a self-guided tour, but you can see national park people, rangers around. They'll answer questions. Some of them are in period costumes. There are occasionally reenactments if you catch it at the right time. The fort itself is the oldest masonry fort in the United States. It is in the city of St. Augustine, which is, of course, the oldest city in the United States. Construction on the fort began in 1672, and it was primarily designed to protect and defend travelers moving from the Gulf area back to Spain with whatever they were carrying at the time. The fort itself has changed hands many times. It's been Spanish, it's been English, it's been Spanish, it's been American. All of that has happened by treaty. The fort itself has never been physically assaulted and taken, which I thought was really interesting. The complex really, really is massive, and it's really cool to just walk around and know there's 300 years of history here, or 400 years of history. You can see the barracks where people lived and slept. You can see storage areas. The prison, or the fort, has even been used as a prison to incarcerate Native American tribes, starting with the Seminole Indians, and later with Geronimo's members of the Plain tribes. Ownership of the Castillo was transferred to the National Park Service in 1933. It is a very popular destination for school kids and school trips, as you can well imagine. So once we finished our tour of the Castillo, the plan was to get on the road and head to Miami. We did take our time and go through St. Augustine on the way out of town. So I hope you enjoyed the video and our little tour through Jacksonville and St. Augustine. I know it was really, really quick. There's lots of things I want to go back and see and do, and will in time. But remember, travel, explore, and live life to its fullest. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed the video or got something out of it, please like the video and share with your friends. And please subscribe by clicking the bell below. Remember, travel, explore, and live life to its fullest.